Since time immemorial, nature has always been an extremely generous and loving mother. Her entire being is dedicated towards equipping her dear children for the challenging race of life. Unfortunately, not all of India's children manage to grow and bloom the way she would like them to. An alarming 30% of all babies in India are born with low birth weight. This is double the percentage of low birth weight prevalence in the world. Malnourished mothers are more likely to have low birth weight babies. In India, a disturbing 36% of all women are chronically undernourished and 55% are anemic. 60 million children in India are underweight. Malnutrition levels in India are among the highest in the world. They are nearly twice the levels of sub-Saharan Africa and 6 times those of China. An equally important indicator of undernutrition is the height of the child. Some children may appear to be normal, but are actually much shorter than other children the same age. This stunting of growth is an indication of chronic undernutrition and has equally damaging long-term effects on the potential of such children. In India, nearly 48% of all children under 5 suffer from stunting. Most of the malnutrition sets in during the first 2 years of a child's life. Tragically, the damage caused by malnutrition in these first 2 years is largely irreversible. Not only is the child's physical growth retarded for life, but there could also be permanent damage to the brain. As a result, such children are likely to face the challenges of life with severe long-term handicaps: lower intelligence, lower education, lower strength and stamina, lower productivity, and therefore lower income. First and foremost, to have healthy babies, we must take better care of potential mothers from an early age itself. So the first step is improved food and nutrient intake for adolescent girls. Secondly, adult women, especially when they are pregnant and when they are breastfeeding, must have access to appropriate quality and quantity of food, supported by micronutrient supplements such as iron folate tablets. The third step is to ensure that mothers start breastfeeding within 1 hour of giving birth. Step 4 is to ensure that for the first 6 months, the infant is exclusively breastfed, since this provides optimum nutrition to the baby. In this period, no other fluids or food should be given to the infant, not even water or good tea. The 5th critical intervention is the timely introduction of complementary foods after completing 6 months. Step 6 is that the quantity of food, the nature and density of nutrients, and the feeding frequency must be carefully adjusted to meet the ever-changing needs of a growing child. The 7th critical intervention is to ensure hygiene while cooking, storing, and feeding. Step 8 is to ensure that a full course of immunization is administered as per schedule in the first year itself. In addition, vitamin A supplementation and deworming twice a year up to the age of 5 further protects the child. The 9th step is to ensure appropriate feeding for children during and after illness. The 10th step: timely and quality therapeutic feeding and care for severely malnourished children. At the program level, the greatest challenge before us is how do we ensure that these 10 critical interventions are adopted by families? And how do we ensure that at a macro level we channelize our resources towards effective and productive interventions? First and foremost, there needs to be an increased focus on prevention of malnutrition to ensure that malnutrition is not allowed the slightest chance to set in. Health and nutrition services must reach mothers and children during the critical window of opportunity. The phase from preconception through to the first 2 years of childhood, when most of malnutrition sets in. Secondly, for any nutrition program to succeed, we must understand that while food intake is indeed important, the nutritional status of children also depends on several non-food factors, such as sanitation and hygiene, safe drinking water, and appropriate caring and feeding practices. Programmers must support the field staff, be it Anganwadi workers, ANMs or ASHA workers, to help them work with families and bring about this behavior change. Deficiencies of nutrients such as vitamin A, iodine, iron and zinc alone may cost India 12,500 crore rupees annually. The real shame is that this colossal loss of human life and resources can be prevented. Programs must pay adequate attention to reducing micronutrient deficiencies. Micronutrient interventions are widely accepted as being one of the most cost-effective. Given the multidimensional nature of malnutrition, beating it requires coordinated efforts between various ministries and departments, such as those responsible for health, food, drinking water, sanitation and hygiene, education and employment, agriculture, Panchayati Raj, and women and child development. An appropriate institutional arrangement to mainstream nutrition with this wider group and bring about this coordination is essential to improving the nutritional status of India's women and children. Our children are looking up to each and every one of us with great hope. There is a lot that we can do as individuals as well as collectively. The critical question is, are you going to wait for someone else to help? Or are you going to step forward and do whatever you can to help these children lead healthy, well-nourished lives? The future now depends on you.